defensive coach. It's just the offense that scares the living you-know-what out of people.
Well, that's where Bates comes in.
Yeah, exactly, and I don't know what I'm getting out of Jeremy Bates. The one year he was offensive coordinator, the Seahawks went 7-9.
Okay.
They won the NFC West. That was a lucky move for the Seahawks. The NFC West was horrible that year.
That was an awful NFC West that year.
Yes, it was. That was the year that Marshawn Lynch ran like crazy. That was Beastquake against the Saints.
Yeah.
I was in Brother Jimmy's on Penn Station.
Do you remember exactly where you are at certain moments in time?
Yes.
Okay. Where were you
when President Kennedy was shot? I wasn't around.
Yeah, you're right. you were barely even a thought then.
I wasn't even a thought.
Your parents were like, hey, if I have kids, maybe I'll name one of them Jacob.
My dad was born in 64. Kennedy was shot in 63.
My dad was born in 61.
Wow, that's
My mom
weird.
was born in 59. Yeah, so... Yeah, they've seen some things and some stuff.
But yeah, there are certain moments in time where it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I just witnessed that.
Where were you when Mark Teixeira hit the game-winning home run against the Twins in the ALDS?
Upstate New York in a lousy motel.
I was in the car with my dad saying, hey, wouldn't it be great if Teixeira hit a home run here?
And sure enough, he did.
I swear to that is true.
I believe you.
He picked me up from my friend's house in Plainview, and the Yankee game was on, and he didn't want to watch it, and I hated him for it.
Can I say something right now? This may get me in trouble, but I'm going to say it anyway. I feel like this show with just the two of us is better than it is with Joe in the room.
Oh man, no, I wouldn't say that. I think Joe brings a lot of different aspects.
I'm not knocking Joe. Big basketball fan, big Jet fan. I just never get to really talk one-on-one with you.
No,
and I like
know
doing
that.
it because you're a really smart guy. I will say this. Out of everyone that is on Beyond the Game, not counting me, you know the most about sports history.
Okay. I was going to say that you know them. I thought you were going to go the route of you know the most. I'm like, I wouldn't go that far.
Sports history.
Okay, yeah, that's better. And I thought I knew sports history before I met you, by the way.
You said that at my Super Bowl party.
Yep.
Don't sell yourself short.
And you laughed at me.
What's the appropriate response in that scenario? Seriously, call up. 516-572-7440 is the number to call for Beyond the Game on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Jacob Valk. Sitting across from me, the one and only Eric Fischetti. Joe Ardita probably isn't coming. I mean, he's missed a third of the show. Certainly going to have a nice talk about that with him. The true hockey maven, tell if that other guy can't say that enough, has gotten sick. Gave out the number earlier. And I'm talking about the Jet draft class. After Nickerson, they picked Runso Fatukasi.
I don't know who that is.
I'll be honest with you, I had never heard of him. So I'm not going to give a scouting report on someone who I had never heard of.
What is McCagnon's... And this is an honest-to-God question because I have no idea, and I figured that you would know. What is McCagnon's history with late-round picks after the third round?
He's actually pretty good. Because he found Leggett late. He found McGuire late. He's actually pretty good.
Do you have faith in him in the later rounds?
Yes, actually I do. I have faith in McCagnon as a drafter, except when it comes to quarterbacks.
Okay.
If I worked for the Jets, I would have the utmost faith in Mike McCagnon if I could arrange his order of quarterbacks. Because I don't think he can scout quarterbacks.
So if you can make up the board, you'd be satisfied?
If I could make up the board when it comes to quarterbacks.
Yes.
If it's running back, wide receiver, tight end, he can do that. That's fine.
All I'm going to say is that there's a reason why Rosen slipped.
Yes, and the reason why, and I had alluded to this on Friday, is because he's a jerk. People don't get along with him. Jim Mora, his college coach, actually blasted him. And then he kind of came around on him, but it was really weird. We do have a caller on the line. Caller, you're on Beyond the Game.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Martin from Merrick. How are you?
Okay, so this morning on the who was talking? Joe and Evan. They had
this afternoon, yeah.
On, and he was asked specifically about the two late picks from the smaller schools.
Yeah, Trenton Cannon was picked out of Virginia State.
The running back, right?
Yeah, I like that pick because the Jets have been lacking an elite special teamer since Brad Smith, and I think Cannon can do that. I do like him a lot.
And the other one from Fort Hays State.
I like Shepard.
Okay, well, he was asked why did he go after people from small schools.
Okay.
And his response was along the lines of, look, these guys had talent. He, certainly in the games which they played, they showed that they had talent. And McCagnon wanted to see first, if these guys could go up against people from the Power 5 conferences in the Combine and in other events, and they succeeded and passed McCagnon's tests, which is why he drafted them.
I mean, I will say this. I feel like we're seeing a lot more of the smaller schools, putting out these huge players. One of them that comes to mind is Khalil Mack, which is the biggest one probably out of Buffalo. And Josh Allen, if you're feeling lucky, we have no idea what he's going to be. Apparently he's highly thought of. He's got the big, powerful arm, so we'll see how he does in Buffalo. I don't think it's crazy. I mean, he's not going to say, well, we don't have any room, so we're just going to put bodies up in front. I don't think that's the case. Jacob, you basically said it before. You have faith in McCagnon in the later rounds, so if he can spot talent in the later rounds, which not a lot of general managers can do, I mean, I would have faith.
Yeah, absolutely. McCagnon is a good drafter, except for the first and second rounds. Well, I shouldn't say except for the first and second round. Darren Lee.
There are hit and misses.
Yeah, I mean, Darren Lee, Jamal Adams, and Marcus May seem to be working out, but Christian Hackenberg and Devin Smith, major busts. McCagnon's draft record for the Jets, I would say, is good, not great.
What would you give him as a letter grade? Like a B?
For his total tenure?
Yes.
Ooh.
Like a C plus, maybe?
No, better than a C plus. I would say B.
Okay.
Well, I think one other thing that needs to be considered is, since we live on e-technology, there's more opportunity for the scouts to see tape from these smaller schools.
Oh, absolutely. It's a much different era in football, especially when you're scouting. Like, a lot of these people, like, I'm going to go back, like Bear Bryant, like from Alabama, like a lot of these coaches, especially in that time period, like Bear Bryant was around for a very, very long time.
Yes, and by the way, I saw him coach games live.
Oh, man. Good for you. Good for you.
Well,
you saw the beginning of the heyday of Alabama football.
And Martin, it was kind of funny. I was thinking about you when Orrin Burks was picked by the Packers. They had highlights for the Fort Hays State guy, but not for the Vanderbilt guy. So
ouch.
I just thought of you when that happened.
Thank you very much. And speaking about Teixeira home runs, I think I know where you may have been when Teixeira hit his last home run as a big leaguer.
Oh, God. His last home run is a Yankee?
Was that the game winner against Boston?
Yes.
Oh.
No, I was not at that game. My dad took Stan Fischler. I never forgave him after that. I mean, gee whiz. You know what? Now's not the time. Thanks for the call.
Bye-bye.
Now's not the time.
Honestly, that was the most emotion I've heard from Martin from Merrick in a very long time. I mean, on Friday he was talking about damn Yankees. Granted, I've never seen it, but I want to.
It's very good.
Oh,
Go
man.
see it if you have the chance. Joe Ardea just texted me. He had an academic advisement meeting for Hofstra at 4:30, scheduled it without thinking, so it's all good. I texted him, don't let it happen again. I'm a stickler for this stuff.
It's all good. At least he got back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not mad. I promise I'm not mad. Believe me, if I was mad, I'd let you know. Eric, while we're talking about the NFL draft, talk about the Giants for me.
Yes, sir. Okay. Okay, can I just say, first off, let me just start out by saying this. Giants fans don't know what they want, to be honest with you.
That is true.
And I'm going to tell you why. Like, there are a lot of Giants fans, honestly, like me, that are a realist. And I'm going to be honest with you. If they didn't pick Barkley, I wanted Darnold.
That's fair.
And to be honest with you, because
a lot of people did.
Before the draft started, I absolutely hate the days leading up to the draft, and I'm going to tell you why.
Oh, I do too.
The suspense kills me so much. As a lot of fun as it is when it's happening, it's like, all right, come on. Can we, I was literally counting days until the draft. I was counting days until April 26th.
Oh, I was too.
Look, Giants fans don't know what they want, but I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't know what was going to happen with the second overall pick. That was 100% honest, and I never got a chance to say that on Friday. If they were to pick Barkley, I would expect playoffs. I've said that before. But if they picked Darnold or a quarterback in general, even traded out of the spot, I was seeing a rebuild in the foreseeable future, and maybe Eli Manning's tenure as a Giant coming to an end.
Yes.
Honestly. But just let's forget the past. Let's go to the present. These new Giants. Saquon Barkley at number 2. Outstanding pick.
Yes.
Outstanding pick, because now you're giving Eli Manning and the Giants a running back that they so desperately needed, as much as I don't like him, since Tiki Barber.
Yes.
And I really don't like him. And I'm going to tell you why. Because he always put himself first before the team. He retired in the middle of the 2006 season, transitioned over to the media world very nicely as he was trashing his former quarterback and coach. Oh, my God. I could not stand him after that. I still can't stand him. That's one of the reasons why I hated Rondé Barber, because he looked too much like him. and it's also because he was a twin. But
oh, man.
Oh, man, is right. But going over to round 2, the absolute steal of the draft, because this guy was supposed to be a first-rounder easily. Will Hernandez, an offensive guard out of Texas, El Paso. Obviously, you gave the Giants a running game. Who's going to be in front of him? Right now, you got Solder at left guard. Left tackle. You got Patrick Omame at left guard. Brett Jones at center. Very underrated center. I think he's going to do just fine this year. Now you got Will Hernandez at right guard. And finally, Eric Flowers at right tackle. I don't know how I feel about that. They did try and trade him.
The Jets, for the longest time, had a good offensive line with a weak right tackle. So you guys really improved the offensive line this offseason.
But here's the thing.
I give Gettleman a ton of credit.
You ready for this? Here's a hot take. I'm not giving up on Flowers yet.
No, neither am I.
Because
to be
right tackle was his position at Miami.
If Eric Flowers gives 100% this offseason, I do think he can be saved. Because I do have faith in Pat Shurmur. To be honest with you.
It's a real tough hill to climb. It
seems like he has a good head on his shoulders.
You'll be surprised.
Really?
Yeah, Shurmur can't stand him right now.
I know he can't, but if Flowers applies himself, what I'm saying is he can turn into a good offensive tackle.
Yes, because you remember that stretch during last year where he didn't allow a sack for several weeks?
Eric Flowers is an excellent pass protector. He's just a lousy run blocker.
He had lousy running game behind him.
Yeah, and that's a huge part of it.
Yes, but now you have Barkley, who did not have a good offensive line at Penn State. You see him running all over the place. You see him running north, south, east, west, northwest, like everywhere.
Up and down, left and right.
Yeah, up and down, left and right, sideways, whatever. Saquon Barkley is basically just what the doctor ordered, if you want me to be cliche. So, going over to round 3, Lorenzo Carter. Can you say James Betcher 3 times fast? James Betcher. You got Alec Ogletree and Lorenzo Carter, and according to Dave Gettleman, from Georgia, not Clemson.
Georgia.
Yeah, because Chris Canty was announcing the round 3 draft pick, while Justin Tuck, I think, did round 2. And Chris Canty, as he's reading the card, he said Lorenzo Carter, Clemson. He did not go to Clemson. He did not go to Clemson. So they had, the wrap-up.
Well, did you hear David Akers?
Oh, my God.
I'm surprised he didn't get shot.
He became my favorite Eagle.
I know, right? My God.
I hate the Eagles more than I hate the Cowboys. Let me tell you that. Because the Cowboys, we can actually... I'm sorry. Because I'm not playing on the team. The Cowboys can be beat at AT&T. For some reason, the Eagles can't be beat at the Link. I don't understand. And they're usually... the Giants play them hard in Philly, too. I don't get it. I really don't... Honestly, Jacob, I really don't remember the last win in Philadelphia.
I'll check for you.
I think it was the Super Bowl season.
I think people used to take dinosaurs to school.
Wow. Okay. Maybe. Was school a thing? But,
no.
But Lorenzo Carter is such... Again, another steal. Lorenzo Carter was easily maybe a late first, maybe second round talent that honestly the Giants got in the 3rd round. They even said that they were going to trade up for him in the 2nd round if he was still there, and luckily they didn't have to. Basically, so far, with the first 3 picks, they all address needs.
That's what I love the most about this draft.
But not only do they address needs, they're like one of the top 3 talents at that position. Do you realize this? Barkley is the best running back in the draft by far, maybe the best talent, but we won't know for sure maybe a couple years down the road. Will Hernandez was easily a number 2, maybe number 3 offensive guard.
No, I would say 2.
Behind Nelson?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? That's fair. And Lorenzo Carter is easily top 3 edge. Maybe behind Chubb. He might be a number 2.
I wouldn't go that far.
Maybe. That's why I said maybe. I gotta see him hit the field first.
Tremaine Edmonds was very good, and Harold Landry too. I wouldn't go as far as...
Okay, fine, top 5.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you top 5.
Disregarding that, they all address positions of need. The only one that kind of got me I was kind of shaking my head at it. It was this pick. It was B.J. Hill, the defensive tackle out of NC State. I didn't really understand it right away, but now that I've had time to think it over, depth, because you never want what happened last year that happened to the offense happen to the defense, because you can't afford to let Dalvin Tomlinson, Olivier Vernon, even Snacks Harrison go down with an injury. You need someone right behind them that can play. And you know what? B.J. Hill can play. I will give him credit where credit is due.
The last time, and I